Stephen Hagerhorst has been married for 27 years. I don't know.
Congratulations.
Happily married for 27?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because you know my whole thing, right?
I don't.
No, I've been happily married for 8, married for 10.
You repented.
Well, he didn't say it was at the beginning or the end.
It wasn't the beginning of that. First 2 years were tumultuous. Steve, we both probably could have used this speech. Stephen Hagerhorst has been married for 27 years, has 4 children. The oldest 2 are married. The third is attending college at Salt Lake Community College. And the fourth is in 8th grade. Today he will be speaking about Anger Management 101. This is Stephen's Project 1 from the Professional Speaker Series. Time is 10 to 15 minutes. Let's give it up for Stephen Hagerhorst.
Have any of you ever been angry before? Put your hands up if you've been angry before. I'm not the only one, right? I'm really surprised, Leslie. I wouldn't think you put your hands up.
Not very often.
And this happened just recently. It was the Friday before Labor Day. My daughter, who plays soccer for Salt Lake Community College, had a game at 1 p.m. I had taken a half a day off so I could go watch the game. Now, I'm a program manager for a test development company. All my clients are IT clients. Now, why is that significant? IT clients want stuff, and they want their stuff now. I can plan my day, I can plan my week. They never go like I plan them because things are constantly changing. Even today, I had stuff come in that I didn't know was going to come in. So I always have to be revising my plan. Why did I say that? Because Murphy's Law always kicks in when I'm trying to leave the office. So that day, I was working feverishly, taking care of my client projects, handing them off, getting them going with my coworkers, answering their questions. It was 11:45. I was feeling really good. And it's not 10 minutes yet, right? Okay. I felt really good. You know, when you leave work, you want to make sure everything's taken care of so you don't have to worry about anything. I was about ready to shut down. Guess what happened? An email came from a coworker. He had a request for proposal that he needed some help with. One of my clients had been deemed as a resource for this request for proposal. So I had some action items. I had to ask that client if they would be a reference, and then I had a bunch of paperwork that I had to fill out. I'd never seen this paperwork before, and the questions in it, I didn't know what they were asking. I didn't know what they referred to. In the email, my coworker said, if you have any questions about this, I'd be happy to walk you through it. So I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of questions. I'm going to send out a meeting appointment. By next week, I looked at it and like, oh man, it's so booked. Again, Labor Day was Monday. Tuesday, always after a weekend, things are booked. And I already had meetings all that day. So I'm like, I can't do Tuesday. Found a place Wednesday morning, so I sent out the appointment. As soon as I sent out the appointment, I get an email back from him. Wednesday's not going to be soon enough. I'm like, oh, the anger started boiling up. I'm like, how long has he known about this proposal? Why has he been sitting on it? On and on, I started to get angry, and it was boiling up. So I looked at my Tuesday, and I had a half an hour in the afternoon. Set it up, hit send, and as I hit send, my wife's yelling, Steve, we need to go or we're going to be late. Just adding to my anger. Ran and grabbed my shoes, ran out the door, jumped in the car, pull out. She could sense I was angry. She said, what is going on? And I unloaded on her. By the time I was done, she just looked at me and said, Steve, from all the self-books I have read, I have found out that anger comes from fear. She says, now I can't remember what the basis is for that, but they say anger comes from fear. Now I'm really upset. How does she dare tell me that my anger comes from fear? I'm not fearing anything here. I'm just pissed. But my wife has a lot of constancy, so I trusted in what she said. And as we drove, I started thinking about it. Am I fearing something from this situation? And if so, what could that fear be? Now, the soccer game's out in Harriman, so it's about a 30-minute drive. Just as we got there, I'm like, she might have something here. So we walked into the game, sat down, watching the game. I was still thinking about it, because still, gnawing on me. What am I fearing? And it dawned on me, I was fearing something. My first fear was I had a deadline of Friday to get this done. I was fearing that I wasn't going to hit that deadline because I already had a very busy week. Number 2 fear that I discovered is that I had a fear of failure. Failure not to answer these questions adequately enough that we would win this proposal. I'm like, oh my gosh, who would have thought my anger came from fear? I never would have thought that. So the next week, after we submitted the proposal, I like to read the news, and I came across an article that the title of it was, "All Problems Come from Fear." Like, who would have thought, it's timing. So I read this article, and it was an article by Kim Giles. They call her Coach Kim on KSL. She said, if you boil all your emotions down, just to make it really simple so that you can understand this, there are 2 emotions that we operate on. One is love, and the other is fear. You're either motivated by love, or you're motivated by fear. So as I read this article, the things that she outlined were a lot of the things that I did while I was driving the car that I didn't realize there are kind of some steps. So I want to talk about these principles, and hopefully that you can learn from them, because I will 100% tell you that since that experience, I have not got angry. I've started to, but I haven't allowed it because I went through these steps and thought, a lot of it's just a thought process. Okay, principle number 1. We've already talked about it. There are only 2 states you can be in, love and fear. Now those are 2 states, but you can't be in both of those states at the same time. You only can be in fear or love. They don't exist at the same time. They're opposites of one another. Love motivates you to do good things, positive things, and fear is a selfish thing because you have a fear of failure or loss. Okay. So there are 2 basic core fears. The first one's a fear of failure, that you won't be good enough. The other one's a fear of loss, that your life won't be good enough. When you experience fear, you cast the other person as the bad guy and you as the good guy. Going back to my situation, I was casting to my wife and myself my coworker as the bad guy. He was negligent. He sat on that proposal. He could have sent it to me sooner. Why did he wait till the Friday before it was due? I was casting him under the bus on everything. But when I sat back and thought about it, he didn't know what was going on in my life. He didn't know how busy I was. He didn't know what kind of stress that this was putting me under. He had no malice in it. He was just looking for some help. So we cast them as the bad guy, and we conveniently leave out the good in another person, and we leave out the bad in ourselves. We only see the bad in other people. So here are some steps. that we can take. You got to step back and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? And again, that's what my wife was asking me to do as we drove to that soccer game. What are you afraid of? Step back. The thing that I have found that simply stepping back as I start to get angry and start thinking about it, a lot of times by the time I get to the bottom, I can't remember what I was angry about because I just stopped and started thinking about it. So again, what am I afraid of here? Think about it. Figure out why part of you wants to be angry. What is being angry about giving you? Is it giving you anything? What is it costing you? So when you think about that, when you're in the state of fear or state of anger, is it giving you anything? No, it's controlling you. It's controlling who you are and what you're doing. You're not in control. When you're in a state of love, you're in control because you're acting for yourselves. You're going out and doing something nice for someone else. I think of both Leslie and Jill and all of you, but they always, after these meetings, what do they want to do? They want to give you a hug, right? They want to give you a hug, and that's out of love. And they're acting, right? They're acting unselfishly. Again, fear is selfish. Then you got to step back and see what you're seeing in another person and see what you're seeing in yourself. Again, that next week, when it was just kind of funny, the whole situation was funny. I met with that coworker, and again, he meant nothing by it. He walked me through what I needed to do for the paperwork, and it literally took me about a half an hour to research and find the answers for him, to reach out and ask my client if they would be a willing participant as a referral and send him the paperwork he had to send out. And it was a half hour. And the good news is that we won the contract. So, but I made it into this big situation. So look at the situation, look at the other person, see the good in the other person, see in yourself, maybe, a lot of times it's really you that might be the issue. Choose to see this person as yourself. You've heard that before, the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. Let go of the fear and choose to trust God in life. All these situations, from this situation, these situations are given to us so that we can learn. And what I learned from this situation is I learned, one, I always need to trust my wife. She always has good advice because of her constancy. But to trust in God, when we have that trust in God and have that love for Him, then we can share that love with other people. And again, let go of fear by choosing love. You can't have both at the same time, so just let the fear go. I just want to challenge each of you that each of you have the power within you to overcome your fears, to overcome your anger. What other behaviors that come from fear, you can overcome them by following these steps, by stepping back, analyze the situation, figure out what your core fears might be from that situation, figure out how to overcome them and replace that with love.